Hey everybody, Jeff Reinhart here, LMP and Lancaster Online. Welcome in. It's the LA League Football Podcast. It's the Huddle, sponsored by Auto House of Lancaster. It's still football season. We have reached the finish line, week 16. There is no week 17. Week 16, this is it. It's the state championships, Thursday, Friday, Saturday at Cumberland Valley, Chapman Field. And there's an LL team playing. How about that? For the first time since 2018, when Mannheim Central was there, Lampeter-Strasburg joins the list of LL football teams that will play for a state championship. What a ride for the Pioneers. They have been a joy to cover and follow around. Got to go to Altoona last week for that Friday afternoon game in the snow. It wasn't like Snow Bowl, Mannheim Central 2003 snow, but it was blustery and it was snowy and flurrying the whole game. And I thought it just kind of added to the atmosphere. It was really cool out there. So LS beat Thomas Jefferson last week. Yes, I picked TJ. We'll get to the pick thoughts later. Trailed 16-3 at half. Did a little barking, little soul searching at half, talked some things out, played an inspired second half, and came back and beat TJ 20-16. So LS 14-0. Section 4 champ, District 3 champ, state finalist. The opponent, Monsignor Bonner and Archbishop Prendergast, Catholic. Yes, that's a mouthful. Bonner-Prendergast, or Prendie for short. That's what they're kind of known as. A lot of people just call them Prendie or Bonner-Prendergast. So I'm familiar with them from basketball over the years. And now here they are in football. Great season for the Friars. They're 11-2. They are the Philadelphia Catholic League champs. They are the District 12 champs. They beat Southern Lehigh in the state semifinals 55-26, rushed for 403 yards and averaged 13.9 yards per carry. So Prendie can run the ball a little bit. They have a good O-line, kind of like TJ. Couple of good backs, including a 1,000-yard kid and a dynamic quarterback who has 2,500 passing yards, which is a school record. We'll get to some names here in a little bit, just trying to set up the matchup. Prendie, 2 losses, 11-2, and they've played a ton of playoff games. They had a Philly Catholic League semifinal. They had a Philly Catholic League championship. They had a District 12 semifinal. They had a District 12 championship. They had a state playoff game. LS won 3 district games and a state semifinal. So they've played 4 postseason games. Prendie's played 5. So these guys both are in playoff mode. And they've both been in the postseason now for a month plus in big time, under the lights, crunch time, playoff games. So both teams chiseled, both teams battle-tested, both teams here for the first time playing in state championship games. Prendie was in states for the 3rd time in the last 4. They lost in the quarters the last couple of years. I know they lost to Crestwood. And I think they lost to Dallas, a couple of District 2 teams. Prendie's 2 losses this year are interesting. They lost to LaSalle College, which had a 10-win season before losing in District 12 playoffs. And they lost to St. Joe's Prep, which is St. Joe's Prep. And they're number 1 in 6A, and they're playing this weekend. Big year for Philly Catholic League. Prendie, St. Joe's Prep, and Roman Catholic in 5A are all playing for state championships at Cumberland Valley this weekend. So a great football season for the Philly Catholic League. and LS. We'll get an up-close and personal look at Prendie. Fun LS Nugget. 5th LL League team to play for State Gold. Mentioned Mannheim Central in the Snowball. Barons won that in 2003. Barons also went to the state final in 04. Lost to TJ. 09. Lost to Selinsgrove 10-7. And 2018, they lost to Penn Hills in that 36-31 crazy game that went down to the end. So Central has been there a lot, 4 times with a title. Lancaster Catholic went twice and won twice. 2009, Crusaders won 2A. They beat Greensburg Central Catholic. And 2011, Catholic went back, won again in 2A. They beat Tyrone. Bruce Harbach, architect of those teams. Those were fun teams. Kyle Smith. Oof. I think Roman Clay was the running back, I think, in 2011, and Titus. And I'm not even going to try to remember all the names, but that was a fantastic little time there for Lancaster Catholic. 2 state titles in 3 years. That was amazing. Conestoga Valley, they're the answer to a trivia question. Bucks, first Lancaster County team to play for a state championship. That was in 1991. Steffi, Daniel Jones, Brady Myers, Doug Meyer. Remember that team? They were pretty good. They played Erie Strong Vincent in 91 for the 3A title. Strong Vincent won that game 29-20, 29-21. Contafio was coaching CV then. That game was at Lackawanna Stadium up in Scranton, Wilkes-Barre. Wilson was the first LL team to go to a state final. Bulldogs were there in 89, second year of PIAA championships. Wilson went in 89 and lost to Upper St. Clair 12-7. Close game. Bulldogs went. So Wilson's been there, CV's been there, Mannheim Central's been there, Lancaster Catholic has been there, and now LS will be there. Coaches, Victor Ridenauer, LS, enjoying the ride. He's fun to talk to. Pre-game, post-game, just really enjoying the heck out of being around this group and coaching up this group. He's got a great staff with guys who really know the game and have forged really great relationships with these kids. There's a great staff to player relationship going on here with this group. And you need that, and you have to have that. And they would not be playing on the first week of December if they didn't. So 4th year for Victor, 43-8 are his teams. That's really good, including 14-0 this season. Jack Muldoon is the Prendie coach, 9th year. Philly Catholic League guy, played for Prendie, coached at Prendie, coached at St. Joe's Prep, knows his way around a Philly Catholic League sideline. So Muldoon and Ridenauer in the coaches' chairs on Thursday night. Okay, some players to mention. I can't do this and not throw some names around. Caleb House, quarterback for LS, playmaker, did not have a great first half last week against TJ. LS ran 16 plays for like 12 yards in the first half against TJ. Jags had the ball like the whole second quarter. They had 2 long scoring drives. They had the ball for like 10 minutes. LS ran 4 plays in the second quarter last Friday. So anyway, halftime in the locker room. Don Brown, I want to say, Christian Nolt, I want to say, had a little powwow with Caleb. Basically, the gist of the message was, hey man, you're our quarterback. You've had a great season. You're an excellent player, and our offense needs to kick it up a notch. Let's go. Lead us. And wouldn't you know it, LS comes out in the third quarter, holds TJ on downs, gets the ball. House goes 45 yards. Touchdown. 16-10. LS back in it. Pioneers get another stop. Force a punt. House up top to Nolt. 70 yards. Electrifying bomb. Touchdown pass. Extra point good. 17-16 LS. Oh my. And they never gave up the lead. Fiorello hit a field goal late, and they won 20-16. So House, 1,500-yard passer, 1,300-yard rusher, 17 touchdowns, no picks still going into Week 16. That's pretty good. Don Brown, 1,400-yard rusher, 22 touchdowns. Emery Fleur has a bunch of catches. Danny Weichler has a bunch of catches. House has a lot of weapons, and their O-line has been stout and very good. Defensively, LS, people have been asking me, what is it about LS? They tackle, they run downhill, they wrap and tackle, they're all ball hawkers, and they make sticks. Fleur has 150-plus tackles to lead the defense. Jai Stieberger's been really good. Defensive end kid, coming off the edge and getting in the backfield and blowing stuff up. Those guys have been great, leading the D. Brown, Weichler. They're household names now, these LS kids. They've been fantastic on that side of the ball. And I got to mention Fiorello, the kicker, 65 for 66 on PATs. He's got 11 field goals, 2 last week against TJ. And he has 27 touchbacks on kickoffs. So what a weapon. They're making you go 80 all the time. And that might play in a game like this, where every drive is going to be magnified. Prendie, good quarterback. Noel Campbell, 2,500 passing yards, school record, single season, 27 touchdown passes. He's good. Double-barreled backfield action. Mikhail Johnson, 1,000-yard kid. I think they call him Mick. He had a big game against Southern Lehigh. Salam Frank, running back. 180 yards last week against Southern Lehigh. So these guys can really run the ball. 400-plus yards last week in that state semifinal game. That's good. 14 yards a carry. That's good. Against a District 11 champ, chiseled District 11 champ. So good O-line, obviously up front for Prendie. Jalil Hall is another kid to know. Good flank receiver guy, 6'3", can go get it. And he's gone to West Virginia. So a D1 recruit receiver for Prendie that LS is secondary. Must keep an eye on. House, Cunningham. Those guys have been really good in the back. House has 6 picks, 4 pick sixes. So they'll have to keep Hall under wraps and keep Campbell scrambling in the backfield. And more than anything, wrap and tackle. Talked to Brown this week at practice, and he said, we must tackle this week. We can't let these guys get their legs churning and rush for 400 yards. Pretty simple. Fun matchup. Great matchup. Prendie and LS. Okay, pick time. I picked TJ last week. Loved the Jaguars' playoff pedigree, their record, their state titles, their WPIAA championships. Overall, how that program has performed in those big games like that. Efficient passer, 2,000-yard rusher, and he was good. He was really good. Eber rushed for 200-plus last week. But LS won. Had a pick and had 3 huge defensive stands in the second half. Twice they turned him over on downs and did okay with their O-line. Yes, they had a 200-yard rusher guy, but LS made sticks when they had to in the second half. Prendie, same thing. Couple of good backs, a good wide out. TJ had a 1,000-yard receiver. Prendie's got a good quarterback, 2,500 passing yards. I get it. I get all that stuff. It's the state championship. These are the best teams with kids with gaudy stats. 16 games into the season, everybody's good. Everybody who's going to be at Cumberland Valley this week is good, and they all have all-star players. They all have D1 recruit kids. They all have kids that are going to be all-state, including LS. Not a homer pick. I got the Pioneers. They're here. They can absolutely win the game. No doubt. I don't want to say I've underestimated them. I thought TJ would win last week. They didn't. So I'm going to go LS here. Magical season. Opportunistic team that has just taken advantage of everything with the takeaways and the turnovers and cashing in. Beat Wyomissing in the district final in crazy fashion. Rallied past a undefeated, really good TJ team last week in the wind and the snow and the 20-degree temperatures, 100 and some miles away from home. No reason LS can't win this game. Prendie played a good schedule. Yes. Their 2 losses were against crazy good teams. Yes. They've won 5 playoff games in a row. Yes. LS has done the same stuff. They can tackle. They'll hit you. They will ball hawk you. They will chase you. They will drop you. They'll turn you over. They'll cash in. And they have a quarterback who has been unbelievable. 1,000 rush, 1,000 pass. Most importantly, they have a kicker who will control special teams. He'll pin you. He'll make all of his PATs. And if this game comes down to a fourth quarter field goal, I'll take Fiorello all day. So the pick is LS. If you want to say homer pick Reinhart, go ahead. But I think LS can absolutely positively win this game. Why not them? They're here. They're undefeated. They have studs. They can win the game. So I'll go Pioneers over Prendie for the pick. On Thursday night, 7 o'clock, Chapman Field, Cumberland Valley in Mechanicsburg, LS and Prendie. We will have this game covered. I'll be there. Mike Gross will be there. Jason Garente will be there. Chris Knight will be there. We'll be all over this. We'll get you tons of coverage, updates from the game, photo gallery, a game story, a sidebar, a column, a photo gallery, everything. Probably some follow-up stories through the weekend to wrap up all things LL football 2024, and especially LS in this great ride. So win or lose, we'll have this sucker covered for you coming up. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Okay. This is it for the Huddle podcast this year. Wasn't sure last week, so I kind of signed off. But here we go. Like I said, there is no week 17. This is it. End of the line. LS Prendie for State Gold on Thursday night. Stay tuned for coverage. If you're headed to Cumberland Valley, dress appropriately. It's supposed to be windy and cold. It is December in Pennsylvania. We'll see how the weather is and how everybody handles that. And hopefully it's a fun, good, well-played state championship game. LS and Prendie on Thursday night. Okay, thank you for everything for 2024. Thank you to Auto House in Lancaster for the sponsorship for football this fall. Good stuff. It's the Huddle. It's the LA League Football Podcast. Jeff Reinhart here, LMP and Lancaster Online. Thank you for following along everything LL football this fall. I appreciate it. And we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.